Hey, we just spent 3 frigid days on the homestead. Thought I'd share with you how we fared and what all went on. Maybe give you guys some insight on how we did it and how we can improve our game, and maybe you can share some thoughts down below on how you did it and how you can improve your game. Let's talk about 3 frigid days on the homestead. Hey everybody, welcome back to Grumpy Acres. Well, I'm out here. It's December 26, 2022. We are about a day and a half removed from a really frigid cold streak that went through here. Not going to say it was the worst I've ever been in, but it was pretty cold. And we had 3 days where temperatures were down below zero, wind chills were well below zero. I'm standing here right now. I don't know if you can see it. There's snow flurries coming down. It's overcast. See if I can show you. Yeah, the sun. That's the sun right there over my shoulder. But it's nicer today than it had been all week long. You know, the sun was out, but today it's lower 20s, upper teens, and the wind chill. I don't know what the wind chill is. It's blowing pretty brisk, but it's not too terribly cold. It's a good. The air temperature is a good 30, 35 degrees warmer than what it was 4 days ago, and the wind chill's probably close to 50 degrees warmer. So I'll take this overcast and some snow coming down over those frigid temperatures any day. But anyway, so let's talk about what we did to prepare for it first. So I went and got hay for the animals. Usually it takes them about 2 weeks for the hay bale, big 1,200-pound hay bale, to get torn down that low. They did that in a week. They've been macking out on the hay, trying to keep their body temperatures up, and so we did that. And I got some I got some hay into the loafing pen. And as you can see, they've eaten it down. They've tramped it down over the last week. But we did that, and then for all the chickens and turkeys, we topped off feed. We made sure we had enough feed to get us through the week. We're going to have to go get more feed tomorrow. Made sure that they had some water to start the cold snap. And for the turkeys, I don't know if you can see it on that door, put some plastic up there to knock the wind down so it wasn't blowing through there. Yeah, and that's what we did for the animals. We just made sure we had food, made sure we had water for them. For ourselves, I spent last Sunday, filling up that wood crib. And that wood crib was completely full a week ago. And normally it takes us about 2 weeks to go through that crib right there, 2.5 weeks. We went through that much wood in 5 or 6 days. That's how cold it was. So the frigid temperatures rolled in on Thursday, actually Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and we got a little sheet of ice underneath the snow, and then it snowed. It's probably only about ½ inch of snow. We didn't get very much snow, but the temperatures dropped dramatically. Thursday morning it was negative 12 degrees, 16 degrees, I think, and the wind chill. Somebody said it got down to negative 41 wind chill. I heard 31 and 38 too is the number, so I'm not really quite sure, but it was cold. And as I said before, me personally, when it gets down below negative 10 like that, I can't tell a difference. All right, it's just I just can't tell a difference. We woke up Thursday morning, came out and took care of the animals. Decided to leave everybody in their pens. I didn't let them out of the coops. Didn't let the turkeys out. Didn't let the chickens out. But I fed and watered them. And I've got these. Let me show you. I've got these rubber pans. Get out of the water, you knucklehead. That's why your feet are getting frozen. Get out. Chickens are not the smartest animals in the world. Anyway, So I got these rubberized pans that we use in the wintertime because I know it's going to freeze up. In the past, we have put heat lamps on water to keep it from freezing, and in the goat and sheep pen, we used trough heaters. And this year, I decided I wasn't going to do that. And I know it makes it a little bit harder on the animals, and it makes it a little bit more work for myself. But I did not want to rely on any technology this year to keep the animals watered and warm out here. They, we talked about it a little bit with some people. We're trying to make it so that we're not as dependent on technology. Our ancestors lived in frigid conditions like this and did not have the benefits of electricity and heat lamps and the such. And we decided we're going to try to get our animals to that point too. And trust me, folks, I don't like it. I don't like doing that to the animals. But it's something we've got to get them ready to. We've got to prepare ourselves. We've got to prepare our animals as well. Anyway, so was it Thursday morning? It's Friday morning. Anyway, Thursday. Let's get back to Thursday. I rambled enough. So Thursday came out, and I've got this thing when it's cold like this. I like coming out about every 12 hours, turning the vehicles over, and getting them started. Well, it was so cold that the diesel truck would not start, and I needed to put a battery maintainer on it and try to figure out how to warm the engine block up a little bit. And it was so cold that the metal on the hood latch was frozen together. So I had to come out here for an hour, and you see I boogered up the grill. And you can see that I boogered up the grill there. But I had to take that latch apart by hand so that I could unlock it. And so I got it apart, and working in these temperatures with small tools and small screws and stuff, you have to take your gloves off. And I was rotating gloves back and forth, left hand, right hand. It took me an hour to get it off and get it open. But I was rotating back and forth about once every 5 minutes. It was so cold out here. Hands were really starting to hurt, but I got it open and got the battery maintainer on it and put a heat lamp. I've got one good heat lamp. It's not some cheap Chinese piece of whatever. And I stuck it underneath there, and I put it on there, and it was so cold I couldn't get it to start. And if you're not a diesel owner, what happens is even with DEF in it, when it gets that cold, the fuel will turn it like gellify. It'll get thick, and it makes it harder for it to start. And so what ended up happening was it sat overnight with the heat lamp on there, and it would almost turn over, but then the battery, even with the battery charger on it, was so cold the battery wasn't very efficient. So I ended up jumping it with the Jeep, and I got it started Friday morning. I don't know if you ever heard a diesel engine when it turns over when it's really cold. It kind of sounds like a pig that's rooting in the dirt. It literally starts oinking and making those kinds of noises. But we got it going and got it started. Another thing that happened. So Thursday. Let's back up. Let's finish the story about Thursday. So Thursday night I came out and checked on all the animals. All the animals were okay except for one chicken. I had this one chicken. She was walking, and it sounded like she was on peg legs, and she was walking really weird. So I got her, and her talons. It was so cold, her talons would not bend. So literally, she was walking. She couldn't bend her ankle joint or wrap her talons. I don't know what she did. So I ended up having to take her inside, and I wrapped a towel around her and held her feet in my hands to warm them up. We got them so that she could move. Brought her back outside. Thursday night, it was super cold. We ended up feeding the fire all night long, just keeping it warm. And we did not turn the furnace on. Well, we turned the furnace on, but we set it at 55. So if it got down to 55, the furnace would kick on, and it never did kick on. In fact, I'm not not quite sure it ever kicked on all weekend long, because we were able to keep that stove going pretty good. You saw the wood that we used. So we managed to keep it nice and warm. So got up Wednesday morning before I started trying to get the truck started again. Came out here, fed the animals. One of the sheep was in labor. And you probably, if you've been following the channel, you probably saw the shorts that I made about it. So I came out at 07:30 to feed the animals. She was in labor. She was showing. It was obvious she was going to have a baby soon. And so I got done feeding the animals, and I came back out here, got some more hay for her. And by 8 o'clock, she had a lamb, a little lamb. And he is right there. But he's out here with Mama right now. Mama's getting some food. I just got done feeding him. But I was out here, and I literally helped deliver him. I actually pulled the sack off of him, and he started breathing. And Mama started licking him, and I was gonna see, you know, she's a really good mom. She's had lots of lambs. And I was going to let her do her thing, but it was so cold that the embryonic fluid on him started freezing. I mean, that's how cold it was out here. So I grabbed him, wrapped him in it. I went and got a towel real quick, wrapped him in a towel, brought him inside, and we got him in front of the fire. And that was that first short that I showed you. And he was only, gosh, when I shot that short, he was maybe an hour old, maybe. And I'll tell you what, he's a little fighter. You know, normally the lambs that first day, they're not really aware. You know, they'll get up and they'll walk a little bit and all that. And usually it takes them about a day and a half to start suckling. He was ready to suckle that day, and so I ended up bringing him out here several times during the day Wednesday and letting Mama feed him. She was not happy I was taking him back and forth, but it was so cold out here, his little tiny body, he couldn't handle the cold. And he's out here right now. He's out here right now, and he's, like I said, he's not too terribly happy because it is cold, but he's doing great. He's eating. If I go and I touch him, he's nice and warm to the touch. I think friends of ours have a warming barrel that they built for us. I think I got to call them and find out. I think we may go get that today. Just to have it on hand. And I know I said that I was trying to harden them for, you know, for future purposes, trying to make sure that they're nice and fit. And we're gonna do a video about that. We're gonna have a discussion about that at some point, about hardening your animals and like homesteading in super austere conditions. We got a friend who is trying to raise hardy animals that will survive in this area and make it so they're very hardy and they don't need a lot of extra stuff. So I'm going to talk to him, and then we'll do. I don't know if I'll do a video with him or just going to be us talking about it on a video. But we're going to do a video about that down the road. But the thing is with the baby, you know, we try to keep those babies alive. So I'm going to make an exception and maybe get that warming barrel. And if they don't have one, I'm probably going to make one myself. Probably if you go over to Hacks for the Homesteader channel, I'll put a link down below. You can go watch their. He did a video on making a heating barrel and using it for their lamb. So that was Friday, and quite frankly, I did not do anything Friday except take care of that lamb, bring him out, feed Mama, give the animals water, because it was freezing up. Those little plastic rubberized buckets there or pans, that water was freezing up within about an hour. So I was having to come out here and change that on a regular basis, and then taking water out to the goats and the sheep. You know, I'd fill a bucket up and put 3 or 4 inches in the trough so they could drink it. You know, and it got so cold. It was so cold Friday that our freeze-proof spigot out front, I had to break the ice to get the handle up because it had frozen all the way down below. Now, we did not have any problems. We managed to keep it warm enough in the house that we did not have any problems with broken pipes. What we do during the winter time like this, keeping the house warm is important. If you lose power, you really run the risk of having broken pipes. But even if you don't lose power, any pipes that run along the outside of the house or through crawl space or anything like that, or especially if you're in a house with a spigot where the spigot comes out the wall, that metal spigot will freeze up and it'll get into the house and it'll get in that line, and that's where you see a lot of problems with broken pipes, is where those spigots are. That's why it's kind of important to get one of those little styrofoam thingies that go over the spigot, or do something just to keep the pipes warm there. So aside from keeping the house warm, what we do is we every 4 or 5 hours get up and go to every faucet and turn the hot water on as hot as it'll go and let it run till there's hot water coming out of the spigot. Then we shut it down, and that usually keeps it from happening. We've only had, gosh, we lived in a small house when we first got married that had a crawl space, and we had a problem with pipes freezing there because the pipes were exposed in the crawl space, and I would have to get under the crawl space, and I got to the point that it was all copper pipes, so I would take a blowtorch underneath there and I would turn all the faucets on, and I would find where it looked like it was frozen, and I would heat that up until it melted and it started flowing. Another thing you can do if it's really cold is open up the cabinet doors underneath the sink, which will allow cold air out of underneath the cabinet and hot air in there. So that was Friday. That's the second day of the frigid temperatures. Taking care of the animals and making sure that nothing froze up, keeping the stove fed with wood. So Friday afternoon, Yoda took a trip to meet the dog breeder, and she brought the puppy home. And here's the short that I did of the puppy playing yesterday. So that was my Christmas present for Yoda was the new puppy, and she's a sweetheart. She's actually Freya's niece. The border collie we had that passed away, her brother had a litter, and she is actually Freya's niece, which is really kind of cool because we kept the genetic line. Hopefully, we don't have the same issues with her that we had with Freya. And Dad didn't have any issues, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's gonna happen there. We're just watching her and trying to protect her as best we can. So we brought the puppy home Saturday. Through the night, Friday into Saturday morning, did nothing but feed the fire. I slept in my coveralls and my socks so I could go out and get wood if I needed it. And I literally I slept on the couch and I did nothing but feed the fire because it was so cold. Made it through the night. Furnace never did kick on, like I said. Oof, that one kicked up just a little bit. I'm going to step over here behind the chicken coop. But Saturday, we just same thing as Friday basically. Didn't really do anything. Did a little work around the house, putting some stuff away and trying to get the house cleaned up. You going inside and out all the time on the homestead. You're always tracking stuff in, so we were able to get a little bit of stuff cleaned up and stuff put away. Now the problem I found on Saturday, and this is one of the reasons why getting the pantry up and running is going to be so important here the next couple of weeks. We got stuff freezing in the back of the house. So we've got storage back here in the metal part of the house, and it is not very well insulated. In fact, there's places where it's bare metal, and we've got stuff that's in there that's freezing, and it's causing issues. So we're going to have to get this area over here back around the corner, that that very far door with that wood panel that's in the window, that's the back side of the garage. So I'm going to start working on that today, as a matter of fact. Even though it's cold and windy, I'm going to have to open a hole in the back of the house because I have to take that door off. That is just a single piece of metal door, and it's an ice chest in there right now, and I need to raise the door up about 8 inches, and I'll show you when I do the video. We'll go in there and I'll show you what all we got to do before we start to work on it in general. But that part of the house right there is going to get turned into the pantry, so we're going to build it out, build the floor up, put insulation in it, and get everything moved in there so that we can get the rest of this building rehabbed and make it so it's not freezing back there and it's insulated properly. So as you can see, got a lot of work to do. Cool thing is, it's going to warm up. It's going to warm up this week, so I will have some time. It's supposed to be warmer than it is right now, but you know how weather is. Can't really rely on it. But it warms up. It's going to make working in there easier. Like I said, I'm going to go in there and figure out what I need to get that door off and start working on it. That's it. Christmas morning rolled around. Wasn't nearly as cold as it had been. It was still cold, but we survived it, and that's what we did. You know, we just maintaining the animals. And luckily, I had Christmas off. I had Christmas vacation off, and then it was so cold they closed down my work because they didn't want people out in the frigid temperatures and stuff. So I had an extra day off there too. So I had the free time to work on it, or to take care of the animals. All in all, not my favorite experience. I do not really enjoy it when it gets this cold anymore. Like I said at the beginning of the video, once you let everybody know how you survived, what you did to survive the cold temperatures. I know some of you guys down south, you know, you guys don't deal with this type of stuff on a regular basis. Here, this is just another winter. The people up on the northern plains and up in the Rocky Mountains, they're used to even worse temperatures and conditions than this. You know, so wherever you are, go ahead and let us know how you dealt with it. Let us know how cold it was where you were. Share your experiences. Let us know if you had something adverse happen, or if you just made it through no problems whatsoever. I know some of you people are really prepared and you deal with this stuff regularly. So go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can see more videos. We got more videos coming out. We got some new equipment for Christmas, and we're going to start using it, and hopefully we'll up our production values for you guys. Most of all, stay warm and go live a life done free.